What's up, Victoria? It's Victoria, and I haven't done a favorites video, I think, in almost 6 months. Of course, I talk about favorites as I navigate through this space. I haven't done a dedicated favorites video in quite some time. I'm going to share my favorites with you, but I also want you to know that you don't need to buy any of the stuff that I'm going to tell you about to be happy. I'm going to link it all down below, but you don't even need to click through those. This is just to share my favorites. Since it has been a long time, I tried to really narrow it down to things that actually feel like my favorite. I used to do this quarterly. This will be my fall/winter favorites / just stuff that I'm enjoying right now. Start with makeup because that's probably what most of you care about. Victoria Beckham reformulated this, as you all know. I have been appreciating this even more because this is my last bottle of this that I will ever have. This is the Victoria Beckham and the Augustinus Bader Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer. Sonia Butler actually tried these. I haven't watched her video yet, but I've been saving it for a rainy day. I will link her video down below about the new version of this. This has always been a favorite of mine. I bought the jumbo size back in November. I've been happy to have it and continue to use it. But with the news that they have essentially discontinued this, I have just been appreciating it a bit more. I'm not really going to go into the details of it. I'm just sharing that this is still my favorite, and I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, next up is one that's still in my testing drawer, but something that I've been enjoying quite a bit, and I wasn't really expecting to, is this from DECORTE. This is the DECORTE Tone Perfecting Palette in 00. So this is the lightest version. I think there's 0 through 4, so 5 different compacts, but this is a Japanese beauty brand. So here's what it looks like on the inside. A couple of color correctors, a concealer shade for me, and then a highlighter. This is really beautiful. This was recommended to me by HINDASH. I wasn't really sure about this, but he was really right. My skin looks really good when I use this. I kind of like to use it when I use it as an all-over face palette. I use the orange color corrector to cover what brow stubble I still have if I do want to cover that up. I start using this shade right here as start building my contour, and I don't really put concealer over it. So I just kind of conceal contour, and then I use the concealer on the rest of my face. The highlighter is something I don't use quite as often. If you are familiar with me, you know that I am not a big fan of duos palettes. That's not really my thing, but I have found a use for all 4 of these shades, and therefore it has become very valuable to me. It's not that I never thought that palettes could be useful, but very rarely for me, palettes built by brands, I can't use all of the shades, but because this was very specifically made for one skin tone in mind, I can use all of these, and I find it very useful. I just love the way my skin looks. I used this in a video at the beginning of the year. I had hair extensions at the time, so if you want to see how this applies, I would go watch that video. My skin is in a bit of a mess because of the season change. My allergies are pretty bad. I have seasonal induced eczema, and my hands are very dry, cracked, and itchy right now. So I'm probably not going to really swatch any of these products unless I feel it absolutely necessary. But I also have applied all of these things in other videos, so you can use those as a point of reference. I would just suggest, if you are very interested in how something applies, just type in hautemess Tom and then whatever the product that you're interested in, and hopefully a video will come up where I have featured that. Okay, and then finally for complexion products, I hate to show this brand because I feel like the brand owner is bad. I don't want to say that everyone that works at this brand is bad, but the brand owner, the face of this brand, has been very up to no good, and everything with this brand is so bad. And I talked very critically of this brand whenever they released their eyeshadow duos, but the Patrick Ta foundation, it's actually in the running to supersede my beloved's Dewdrop foundation. It's been the foundation that I choose to wear the most over the past couple of months. I got this back in Palm Springs. Kelly Gooch gave it to me. She got it in PR and it wasn't the right shade for her. I really love this formula. I know this formula, removing the person from it, is also very divisive, but I find that it wears really well on my skin. I feel like it takes to powder very well. I feel like it has really good longevity on my skin, and it still looks good after a long time. But it seems like some people have the exact opposite experience. So I don't know if it's I somehow got a good batch or whatever, but I really, really love this foundation, and I have the shade 6 here, and this is a very good match for me. It looks really, really great on my skin. It has a nice glowing finish. It makes me look like I have just done my skincare, but if I did my skincare and then my skin looked perfect after that, and not like I had just been rubbing product in my face and my face is red and blotchy. It is the best version of my skin, and I really like that. Those are the 3 complexion products I wanted to mention. I have another complexion product, I guess. We'll throw it into complexion. It's this from PHYTOSURGENCE. This is the PHYTOSURGENCE Spectral Shine in the shade Cool Candlelight. So if you haven't been here, back in the day, years ago, I reviewed PHYTOSURGENCE and I did not like the Spectral Shine. Last year, I have gone through some changes in the way I like to do my makeup. I like my makeup to be a little more natural looking for the most part. Like I don't really do looks all of the time. When I first tried out this product, I really loved blinding highlighter, glossy highlighter. That's not really what this is. I would call this more of like a skin enhancing product than a highlighter. So that's what I like to use it for. So after I've done my foundation, I get a bunch of product on a dense brush and I press it into my cheek area, and it blurs that area, and it also makes everything that goes on top of it just like a little bit glowier and looks gorgeous. And so I've been really into this. So the reason I wanted to shout this shade out in particular is that I feel like in this range, at least in the lighter portion of this range, because PHYTOSURGENCE is usually very good about covering all of the grounds when it comes to releasing shades. There wasn't really like a light cool toned shade that I felt like worked on my skin. I've been using shade Divine Daylight, and that actually looks a little bit bronzy on me. It's very subtle. This is a very subtle product. Like I said, it's like kind of just enhances the skin. I would say that my skin's pretty neutral with pink undertones, and that little bit of pink in here really works on my skin. So I've been loving this. I have fallen in love with the Spectral Shine formula, but I do think it's a specific product, which I kind of say every time I mention it. So I don't think everyone needs it. I think that some people will find a lot of value in it, but some people will find almost no value in it. So just make sure if you are choosing to buy it, your makeup style and the routine that you do, this will be easy to incorporate into it. If not, then I would say skip it. And then finally, this is a product that I'm so excited to show you. You already know I love it. You know I love the other color I have of it, but it's actually HINDASH's highlighter in the shade Doll Dynasty. Liluna is a really good, very good highlighter for me. I was really concerned that this would look too orangey on my cheek and I wouldn't like it, but I've really learned to fall in love with it. So I did see that HINDASH made a reel where he used this on a cool toned look, and it didn't look too distracting. And I was like, well, maybe I can try that. And I did, but I also have been like doing a little more color, a little more warmer looks, and I've been loving it for that. This is such a beautiful shade. If you have a skin tone that's fair like me, you can still swirl your brush in here and it will still look very natural on the cheek. If you are fair like me, you don't want to focus your brush too far into this deeper end unless you're doing something very specific with that, because that will read a little bit deep, leave a cast. But if you're just swirling your brush in there to pick up all of it and putting it on your cheek, it looks really beautiful. This is still my favorite highlighter formula I think I've ever tried. Happy to also like the second shade I bought. And if he ever expands the shade range and there's shades in there that I could use, I would want them. Next up is like the hit of the most recent purchases that I've made, and it is from Trixie Cosmetics. This is the Trixie Cosmetics Trixie stick in the shade Sunkissed. This is the bronzing stick. They also have blush sticks. I don't know if the formula is exactly the same. I don't really care for the colors in the blush line, so I went with one of the bronzers. Now, whenever I first looked at this, if you watch that original video, I was like, I fear that that's going to look very orange on my skin, but it's actually such a natural bronzer that looks so good on my skin. It comes in many shades, so if you're not as fair as me, there are other options for you. I think there might be like 6 to 8 shades in the range. It is definitely, in my opinion, the most luxurious cream bronzer I have ever had used on my face. It just works so well. I feel like bronzer shades can be expanded on. they can always make more. So I maybe like, I don't know if it's really a thing that they need to do right away, but I would always love to see different undertones released. Like if they made a rosy light one, I'd be very into that. But this has been my bronzer of choice since I tried it. And that's saying a lot because I have been really on the Gucci bronzer train. The packaging is really cute. I don't mind the packaging. I do prefer like a more luxurious, weighty experience, but this formula is it. I don't know. It might be my favorite bronzer I've ever used. It's giving me more time to cook with that, but like, I don't know. I just haven't wanted to use any of my other bronzers since I've gotten this. Like, it's just always the bronzer. It's in my everyday makeup drawer right now as kind of like a test. Like, do I want it in my collection? And I think what ultimately might happen is I might keep this and I might get rid of my Chanel bronzer. That's what I'm thinking right now. That's like how good it is. Like it's better. I mean, it's better than the Chanel bronzer. I don't think anyone's that impressed by that Chanel bronzer anymore. I think it's good. I think that's just the color of it's wrong. And I think if there was like an excellent color for me in that, I would want to use it up. I don't know. I'm much more interested in using this right now. We'll do something a little more conceptual before we move into other makeup. I really love my little Olivia Palermo palettes that I made into magnetic palettes. Right now there's some eyeshadows in here, but I made this. This used to have eyeshadows that were like permanent in there. It wasn't a magnetic palette. Dug out all of that stuff. I put a magnet at the bottom and I made my own little magnetic palette. Now, this is technically still not done. I need to get magnets so that it will stay closed. So right now, this is just something that I keep on my vanity in my vanity drawer, and I make sure that nothing really bumps up against them to make them open. I will eventually do that, but I'm just very pleased with these. I love interacting with them. They're my one of my favorite little things. Okay, let's talk about lip products. This should come as no surprise, but the two products I got from Mob, the Mob lip liner in the shade M159. I did a whole Mob brand review, and there are chapter titles on that as well. So if you want to go check that out and hear more about these lip products or just hear more about Mob in general, you could check that out. And I also have the lipstick in the shade M102, and that's what those look like swatched next to each other. I mean, they're just my favorite lip products right now. I love the yucky muckiness of it, and this yucky muckiness is a little more pink. I have some other mucky brown shades I feel like get a little more green, a little more yellow. I think that the pinkiness of these is a little more flattering on my skin. It is interesting though, this on my lips reads a little more concealer lippy, but it's a little too dark to be a concealer lip. It's like, it's very strange actually. It almost kind of, I feel, has like a khaki quality to it. Like it's just kind of like tan. And maybe it's because my lips have a little bit of the pink in there, so whatever is not the pink in there is what reads more on my lips, and I also feel like it looks a lot lighter than that when I have it on my lips, because I recently compared it to the shade Folio from MAC, and that shade is a lot lighter when I swatch it on my skin, but it looks almost exactly the same on my lips, so that's an interesting thing. Undertones and lips and the density of pigment in the product are all going to play a hand in how things are going to look on you. This has just been my lip duo of choice. I love this little lip duo. I love how cool toned it is. I love a cool toned lip. I love a cool toned yucky brown lip. And this just really scratches the itch. And I also really like the formula of the lipstick. I would say that like most lipsticks I can deal with the formula unless they're really uncomfortable. But I think for like a soft matte formula, it's very comfortable on the lips and I think it wears very well. So very big fan of both of those. And something that I actually really like to wear in conjunction with both of those is this. This is from ISAMAYA. This is the lip lab. If you were to buy this now, it comes in different packaging now that they're at Sephora, but I believe that the formula has remained unchanged. And this is a gray lip gloss that has silver sparkles in it, but so much silver sparkle in it that makes your lips kind of almost look like a disco ball. And I love that on top of that lip combo. It's just been my favorite. Actually, the three of these is like the lip. You know, like that's just been my lip recently. It's so funny because I remember wearing it once and I just remember Tiff looked at me and said, well, that's fun. And I was like, right. Maybe not everyone wants a completely blanked out beige lip that just has silver sparkle way over top of it, but I do. The ISAMAYA lip lock was PR. Everything else has been purchased or given to me by a friend up until this point. But this was also set in PR. This is from Merit and it is their signature. It is their signature lip in the shade Baby. And it's this gray pinky color. It looks more like mauve when I swatch it on my hand, but I feel like on my lips, it's my lips, but with a little bit of cool toned gray in it. And it looks really beautiful. Kind of like the color of all the blushes I like to wear. So it wears really well with all of the blushes that I normally like to wear, like that Chanel blush Harmony that I like to wear, or Mimi or Condensate. You know, like all of those blush colors I feel like are along the lines of this, and I just really like to wear it. So it's a beautiful, beautiful lip. I also think that Baby looks really great with the Mob lip liner. Kind of just like this, some combination of these four lip products has been my favorite lip to go to for like the last couple of months. That's my lip combo. I got tagged by Christina to do a lip combo tag video. And I feel like I don't do a lot of lip combos, but now I guess I kind of am. I've kind of been doing lip trios. Well, I guess that would be a combo. And then for eyeshadow, I had to really like search into my soul. I feel like I've actually been good about rotating through eyeshadow products, but there were two standout products to me. And this hasn't been featured much on my channel, but I've been wearing it a lot in my personal life. And it's this. This is the shade Archway from CLIONADH. And I saw this on Rainier. I will link her channel down below, and she also is on Instagram. And I was like, what the hell is that? Somebody else had already asked in her comment section what it was, and she replied. And I used her promo code because I was sold on it. And she had this on her eyes as a single eyeshadow in a reel. And she wasn't talking about it in that reel, but it was like all I could focus on. Also, she's just like so stunning. Wow, she's so pretty. And also look at her eyes. Now, CLIONADH's multichromes were like a pretty big fan favorite. That's what it looks like on the finger. And I think you can start to see the shift. Purple base. Do you see that? And it has like this yellow gold shift. I'm not really someone who wears a lot of yellow gold. If you watch my channel, you like know that already about me. But it having that purple base and making it look so interesting. And whenever I think of the colors in my collection from CLIONADH, I don't know, I think this might be my favorite, most show-stopping one. I mean, I really like all of the shades I've kept over the years from CLIONADH. There's just something to that is just so extra special. And because of that purple base, if you do it as a one and done, the way that light hits it, it makes you look like you've done a lot more work than you have, because like the crevices might look more purple or more gold and the other parts will look more purple. It just looks like you've given yourself definition that you haven't. It's just the one eyeshadow doing all of the work. It's truly something special. I feel like I paid around $13 for the shade. Now, shipping was more expensive. I only bought that when I bought from them, but I do think they have a free shipping threshold. Although now that I'm saying all of this, the tariffs into the United States might be different when you watch this. I don't even know if I don't even know if they're in effect yet. They keep moving around. That's crazy. Like I don't want to like, because we're talking about favorites, I want to keep things a little bit lighthearted, but like it is like literally crazy that I have to like, it's good for me to know these things, right? But it's also just like the fact that like I'm a beauty channel and I'm like, and I'm talking about a beauty product from Canada and I'm like, well, the tariffs might come into effect, like, I don't know. Like, it's really wild the time that we're living in. Again, the United States is an embarrassment. Let's just move along. Anyway, it wasn't that expensive. If you live in Canada, I'm sure it's less expensive. Well, the Canadian dollar, I don't know. All I'm saying is that it didn't feel like too much when I bought it, but who knows now. I think there is more expensive formulas than this one from them. Okay, I don't know. I've talked way too much about tariffs. I wish I wasn't talking about tariffs at all. And the only other eyeshadow product, my God, Tom, that I wanted to talk about was this. Now, this is from Armani. It's one of their liquid shadows, and this is in the shade 67S, and the shade is Sparkle. I think that's the name of the shade. And this is just like a beigey base with a silver sparkle on it. Imagine such a thing. This is a really thick swatch of it, and this isn't how I would apply it. If you've been watching my channel recently, you'll know that I really like to take a fluffy brush to this kind of product and very gently sweep it on my lids. This is the only liquid eyeshadow formula that I actually feel comfortable applying directly to my lids. It doesn't give you that burny sensation. Some liquid shadows might. It tends to be the lesser expensive ones in my experience that give you that burny sensation. I've also had luxury formulas do it to me as well, but this formula doesn't give me that. I know that everyone has different sensitivities, but what I've been really loving to do, and I think someone suggested this, I'm not really sure that I'm doing it exactly the way the person said, but I like to just take it and put a little bit of it on the bottom lash of the inner corner, like the bottom inner corner, like right there. I feel like it brightens my eyes just a little bit, adds a little bit of sparkle, but I also like it all over the lids. It's not the most long wearing eyeshadow. I would say I get about like 4 good hours before everything starts moving around, and that's if like my eyes were primed and set with a powder first. Directly on the eye, I feel like I get a good 2 hours of wear from it before it starts breaking up on my lid, but tapping it out normally just fixes it and redisperses the sparkle, but it is very pretty. And now that I have these two sparkly things on my hand, I feel very compelled to do a sparkle cam for you. And now we're on to my last makeup favorite, and it's the E.L.F. Okay, Jesus Christ, Tom. I don't know what's going on. My brain, I had a hard week at work and like I can't like I like think that I used the last bit of my brain power at the end of work today. I'm filming this on Friday. I also filmed a video before this one where I like put this look on. I added some things after that video, but if you're watching chronologically, you'll have already seen that video. The last favorite in makeup is the E.L.F. Lash Extender. I bought this because I feel like a lot of people recommend it to me, or like I've heard it in recommendations from other content creators. And this is a tubing mascara at the drugstore. And I know the tubing mascaras are polarizing. I've liked most of the ones I've tried. I don't know if it depends on like the hair on your lashes, whether or not a tubing mascara will be best for you. But I was kind of getting frustrated relatively recently with other mascaras that I have been getting a lot of flaking and a lot of smudging. So a tubing mascara is a good way to resolve that. And this is a very good tubing mascara. I haven't tried like a ton of tubing mascaras to be able to give you like a definitive that this is a really good one, but I get along with it quite well. And I would say like there was a little bit of time, maybe it was like the second week of using this, where like it was flaking a little bit, but it hasn't done that to me since. It like was really great the first week, and then it had that little weird flaky period, and then it came back around as I continued to use it. I will need to replace this soon, but I might go back to the Surratt Releve mascara. That's also a tubing mascara, but it has fibers in it, and I like the fibers, how they add dimension. Like, I just like the way my lashes look the best with that mascara, but for $7, you really can't beat it. It's really wonderful, and, like, I really didn't mind using it the whole time. Like, I never once thought in the 3 months where I was just focusing on this mascara by itself, I never had the thought, "I really wish I had another mascara," because the Releve mascara was out of stock whenever I bought this, and that's really the only reason I bought this. I was like, "I don't know what mascara, I'll just try this one," and this was the one I picked up, and I never really thought the whole 3 months where I was like, "Wow, I really wish I had the Releve mascara." Like, I think low-key I did, but, like, not in a way where I was like, "I need to get this out of here." Like, I really enjoyed my time with it. That's not always my gig, to be like, $7, my favorite thing. Let's move on to skincare. I don't talk about skincare a lot on my channel except for in empties, and I only do one empties video a year. So I figured that this would be a good way to update you on my skincare. And I also have gotten comments on my skin looking very good recently. So I feel like talking a little bit about skincare. If you have been around for a long time, you'll know that I have some redness on my skin. And depending on the time of year or how under control I have my skincare will depend on how red my face is before I apply any makeup. But now I have almost canceled out all of the redness on my skin. I still have a little bit, but this from Prequel is what, I don't know, stopped the redness on my skin, and it is the Redness Reform Soothing Serum. This is actually an empty. It's down here so I can film an empties video, so there's nothing in here. So the serum comes out a little bit green, and it's a little bit tacky, but it doesn't feel tacky once you blend it into the skin. I do about 2 pumps, and I do it once a day, and I use it part of my morning routine. I will cleanse my face, I will use my essence, and then I will use this, and then I moisturize and SPF. So that's like my steps in the morning, and this just evened out my skin so beautifully and so easily. And this is, I think, about $20. It has just done my skin wonders. Now, right now, I'm finishing another product that does something similar, but I think a little less effectively. But I have another bottle of this ready to go. This bottle with 2 pumps every day lasted me 2 months. And I think that's a pretty fair price for this kind of product. For a product that has done such transformative things to my skin, that's an incredible price. I do love a luxury skincare moment. And skincare, I would say, like, I buy much less skincare throughout the year than I do makeup. But like, the skincare I have been using up until this point has been pretty expensive, but this is a rock star product, and I highly, highly recommend if you have redness in your skin, giving it a try. I don't think it cancels out all redness. I think it gets pretty close for me. I would say my redness issues might be less than some people's. And also, I don't know about if you have like rosacea, how that will work. I don't have rosacea. So like, it just on my redness and the kind of redness that I have and the way that my body produces the redness, it works really well for that. And so if you have redness, might be worth a shot. I really, really love this product. Of the skincare over the last couple of years, well, I have this on my desk too. Like, this PHYTOSURGENCE product, the regenerative facial oil, is also a superstar product and like rings true as a superstar product. This is also a superstar product. It comes in a beautiful glass bottle too. It's like clinical looking, but it's kind of luxe in the hands. Really wonderful. So yes. It's a yes from me. And then this is a product from Prequel that I don't think I've really talked about. I might have mentioned it in passing that I'm gonna try it. I finished my beloved La Mer resurfacing treatment, and I was debating whether or not I would buy that again. But whenever I was buying, what was that? I don't even remember what I was buying from Prequel on purpose. I think I bought the cleanser again, but I also saw that they had this, and this was a new product, and I knew the next time I ordered from Prequel I was gonna buy it. And so this is the multi-acid milk peel AHA exfoliating solution. This comes in what it looks like a toner dropper, but this is a serum. It's thick, it's beefy, it's thicker than the milky essence that I use, and it works a charm. It's not as gentle as the La Mer one was. The La Mer formula was very, very elegant. This feels very, very powerful, but not too powerful. If you were here whenever I messed up my skin barrier like last year, that like it's not that strong where it's like messing with my skin barrier. It's just strong enough. I do use it every night. It says to shake well, and you know what I'm not doing? That's why it's coming out thicker than I don't know. It's just like the whole time I've been using this, I've been curious about why this was the way they chose to do it, because it's just like a toner bottle. Every time I pour it out, I'm like, this could have been in a pump. Like, I don't think it needed to be in this. I would prefer a pump, but I don't know how many times a week they say to do it. Use a few times a week and build up use if desired. So yeah, I use it every night, but I'm not using any retinol or retinoid products right now. So this is my only exfoliating treatment that I'm doing, my cell turnover treatment. And I feel like keeping it simple and not doing a retinol or something like that right now has been very helpful. Or maybe they already do. If PREQUEL has one, I would try theirs. And I think this is about $20. So if you want to try a cheaper alternative to the La Mer resurfacing treatment, this isn't exactly the same. This is a thicker consistency than that. But I also feel like this would maybe be a good replacement if you use the Sunday Riley lactic acid. But if you're not an acid person, then obviously skip out of this. But I really been getting on with it. And now I don't have to buy a $170 or $150 serum every time I need to buy an exfoliator. I believe this was also, I think this was like $25. Again, very affordable. I don't remember when I started using this. I think I started using it around the same time as the redness reform. But I could be lying about that, but I still have half the bottle. Like, I still have a ways to go with this, and I feel like I'm getting my money's worth out of it. I've been really saving money using PREQUEL, and then I've been spending money on this. Although I feel like PREQUEL just released a product that, I don't know if it's supposed to dupe this, but it makes a lot of the same claims that this does. That's the thing about PREQUEL. It's like they make a product that does the thing, but I don't think it's supposed to be duping anything. But this product, I think they maybe had tried to dupe. So this is from Do Skin. I've been told it's just pronounced like do. This is the Instant Angel Instant Angel. This is the Instant Angel. Am I saying angel or am I saying angel? The Instant Angel Lipid Rich Facial Moisturizer. So I've been familiar with the brand for a while, and I know that I don't know, I guess maybe they went TikTok viral. I'm not actually sure, but I follow Charlotte. I followed her on TikTok. I now follow her on Instagram. And I've heard other people talk about this. I've known that people just like this is their holy grail moisturizer. And I was kind of getting sick, I'm not gonna lie, of buying a moisturizer and using this. And I was like, maybe there's a moisturizer that can just be all of that for me and, make my skin feel nice and moisturized and plump and ready. And I do believe that this does make claims of like helping repair your skin barrier. Yeah, barrier repair complex. Yeah. And I do feel like that my skin barrier has been just healed over the time I've been using this. My skin was in a pretty good space whenever I started using this, but in the winter, my skin was getting dry. And this is thick enough that I feel like it stays all night as a moisturizer on my face, but when I wake up, my skin's like plump and looks great. So I've been very into this, but this is pretty expensive. This is the little size, and I finished this in about a month, and I think that this was like 50 something dollars. I bought the larger size. I also feel as though whenever I was using this bottle, I was really being generous with how much I was giving myself every time, because I just really loved putting on my face. My skin like loves this product. I only use it at night. It is a little bit too thick, I think, for me during the day, but I know people with dry skin do use this during the day as well. But for me at night, it's like the perfect nighttime moisturizer. We'll see as we head into summer if it starts becoming a little bit thick. I might go back to Verdant Force Field. This has been very lovely. I've been very much enjoying it in the drier months. And I have the bigger bottle upstairs right now in my bathroom, and I love using it every night. And it is funny because it's in like an aluminum container, but it feels really luxurious. I've used these in the past and they haven't felt as luxurious, but maybe their metal is a little bit thicker because it doesn't feel like super flimsy, but big fan of this. Let's move on to something that I don't talk about a lot on my channel, and this is body care. I was in Sephora with my friend Rebecca, and she was on the hunt for a new deodorant. We spent 3 hours in Sephora just swatching and chatting and tee-hee-hee. We went on a Sunday. It was so busy, but we were just really taking our time. Shopping with Rebecca is one of my favorite experiences because she's willing to like BS the whole time, and like we were certainly BSing. So we were back at the Salt and Stone display. I don't know if they have any proper displays, but any Sephora I've seen them in, they've been like on the you need to walk all the way to the back and on the back shelf, and they have like one shelf amongst other shelves. Also, Just Skin is also normally there if you're shopping in a Sephora. She was sniffing all of the deodorants, and she did end up buying one from Salt and Stone. And, you know, we were smelling them, and I also smelled one that I really enjoyed. This is from Salt and Stone, and it's the Santal and Vetiver scent. And to me, it smells like Santal 33, like Le Labo. Very close. It may not be an exact dupe. I don't own that fragrance, but I like that fragrance. This deodorant works really well for me. Now, I know natural deodorants, you know, results may vary with natural deodorant. I actually, for years, had been using native deodorant. Got along really well with that. And then I tried the one from Necessaire, like the gel one that has the AHAs in it, but I smelled stinky very quickly using that. So I seem to have better luck with things that don't have the AHAs in it. And I did buy the cream one. I think they also come in a gel. Maybe their gel one has the AHAs in it, but as far as I can tell on the ingredients list, there's not any actives in here for that. A high performance deodorant formulated for 24-hour protection. There's hyaluronic acid in it, but I don't think there's any of like the AHAs in it. It smells so good. So I know that everyone's not a natural deodorant fan. I would say that this, of the natural deodorants I've tried, has kept me the least stinky the longest. If I do go to concerts and stuff, I do like wear deodorant that has antiperspirant in it, something that's gonna be a little bit more potent. But, like, as far as wearing around the house, I work from home, it lasts through my workouts, and I still smell okay after my workouts, so I felt like this kind of deodorant works really well. You get 2.6 ounces. It feels like a lot. I feel like I've been using it for over a month. It is $20, which is expensive, and I also wonder, I know that some other deodorants that are shaped like this are refillable, so I wonder if Salt and Stone could, like, maybe figure that out. That'd be like my dream situation. I'll probably buy another one during the Sephora sale just to save a little bit of money, but I would gladly pay $20 for the full one again. And I think I've been using it for almost 2 months, and it feels like I'm about halfway up the tube is what I'm feeling. So it's working really well for me. I really like it, and I would totally buy it again. One thing I didn't know about Salt and Stone is that, like, their scents kind of come through all of their products, and they also have a body wash. So this is the Salt and Stone body wash in the same scent, and so I cleanse with this. I use this. Smells so good. Smells so good. And the sales associate at Sephora, whose name I can't remember, this was now a couple of months ago. I think their name was Amy. I could be wrong, but they work at the Ross Park Mall at Sephora. They were very helpful. And I was like picking it up, and I like turned to them and I was like, "How's this?" And they were like, "Oh man, it smells so good. It makes your whole bathroom and your whole house smell like using it as a body wash. Like when you first use it, like it smells so potent." And it does. It does. And I actually quite like that in my bathing experience. I will say that the formula doesn't really like lather much. Like it's one of those formulas that kind of just like, I don't know. I don't need my body wash to lather, but the smell of it's so nice. And this comes with 15.2 fluid ounces, and I've been using it for 2 months. And I feel like I should be further along in it than that, but like that's all I've used. And I shower almost every day, depending on whether or not I work out. I mostly only shower the days that I work out. Anyway, that's none of your business, but like that's most days. And like so this I think was 30 something dollars, and I was just keeping track of how many months it would take me to use it up to make sure it was worth it. But like if that's where I'm at for 2 months, and then like this lasts me 6 months, I would, for a luxurious body wash experience, I would definitely do it again. And I also like this packaging. I don't know how like sustainable this packaging is, but it's almost like this rubberized plastic. So it's not like super heavy, and it's a little bit squishy. I don't know. It's like it feels like luxurious, and it looks really great in the shower. I love it. I love this combo. But we're gonna keep this combo going. Combo, more than two things. And we're gonna talk about fragrances now. So I have a couple fragrances I would like to talk about, and I've talked about them more in depth in another video, and I will try to remember to link that down below, but we'll see if I do. After I shower and after I put on deodorant, you know what I like to put on? Not the Salt and Stone body spray. They do have a body spray. Seems relatively reasonably priced, but I'm not sure. I don't want to talk about the pricing of everything. I put this on because it is in the same family as all the Salt and Stone products. It has that little bit of, you know, the little, and I think it's the Palo Santo in here that makes me go. But this also reminds me of the Labo 33, which those remind me of the Labo 33. So basically, I put all of this on, and then I finish it with this. I cannot tell you how many people tell me I smell good whenever I do this trio in public. I get compliments on how good I smell all of the time. This is the Glossier You Do fragrance, by the way. And I bought this during the last Sephora sale. And yeah, so that's how much I've used. I flipped it over because you can't really see through the top there. I don't know. I don't know. I just love that combination of the three. But before that combo came into my life, I had been really loving the Merit fragrance. No, this was sent to me in PR. And I don't know. It's definitely not for everyone. And whenever I talked about it in that one video where I talked about it a little bit in depth, it's for some people it smells Old Lady. For some people that Old Lady scent sticks around. But for me, it smells like a vanilla on me, but not like a sweet vanilla. It just smells like straight vanilla to me. But my skin after that powderiness dissipates. It just smells warm and sumptuous on my skin. And I really, really, really love this. And I would absolutely buy another bottle of this when I'm done with it. I'm like so into this. I imagine that whenever I put this on, which I also get compliments on this whenever I wear it, I feel like I'm probably one of those like old ladies you can smell around the corner where like I just smell, I have to just smell like it. Like I spray so much of it on me because I just want to smell it. I don't only want to smell that. And then that's it for like physical product. But I have some other things. Some of them are things that are money things, and some of them are things that are not money things. So we'll just kind of like go through them at will. This is just the list. This is the way I wrote them. Okay. So the first thing I want to tell you about. This is not an ad. I'm not sponsored by any of the things I have been talking about. I just really want to make it explicitly clear that what I'm about to say is not a sponsored thing. But it is a money thing. And I'm just gonna tell you, I switched to Mint Mobile recently. I've been using it for the past 3 months and I just paid for a year in full. Here's why I switched to Mint Mobile. Oh my God, it literally sounds like it. I swear to freaking God. There's no referral link down below. Like, I don't even think I could have a referral link. It just, I mean, maybe I could. I don't want to say that I couldn't, but I won't put a referral link down below. I'm just like I'm sharing my experience. My phone bill before I switched to Mint Mobile was about $80 a month. And I was paying for data, but my phone was paid off. Like my phone was paid off and I was paying $80 a month. And I was just like, this seems like exorbitantly high. And I'd heard of Mint Mobile and I've always been very, very skeptical of that kind of thing. They have a 3-month trial where you pay in full for the 3 months. And I work from home most of the time. And I didn't ever really put together that I don't need unlimited data until I switched. But I was checking my phone bill while I was planning to switch when I had unlimited data, like how much I was using each month. Very rarely did I ever hit a gig of data of use because I mostly work from home and I use the Wi-Fi when I'm at home. And like the little of times I do leave the house, it's like I'm very rarely on my phone at those times. Normally I'm spending time with people, or I might just be like listening to music while I'm on the train. I just don't use a lot of data. So I got their most basic plan, which is $15 a month. I got some kind of deal where I think I paid for 2 months and I got the 3rd month free. And after my first month, I was like, this is pretty great. I paid $45 for 3 months. I paid that up front and then I didn't have a phone bill for 3 months. So basically, I paid half of my phone bill for 3 months. And then the last 2 months, I didn't even have half of the phone bill. I just paid nothing. So I paid for a full year because I paid the $15 a month up front. That's the one thing that may bother some people is like you're paying it up front. And if you do less than a year, the price goes up. But for me, it made a lot of sense. And I'm very happy with the choice that I made. Now, again, I stay in my house most of the time, so I get decent cell service in my house. They also have Wi-Fi calling in case that would be spotty. But where I usually go when I leave the house, I normally have service. I'm pretty sure that they use that T-Mobile situation. I don't know. And T-Mobile was what I had before I switched to Mint. So again, not sponsored, but I don't have I paid $200 something like with the taxes and the fees, and now I don't have a phone bill. And if $200 on my previous phone bill would have been 2.5 months, guys, it made a lot of sense for me. So just wanted to tell you about that. That's a favorite. Not having a phone bill is a big favorite. Love that. Here's a quick favorite. So speaking of pink, this is from the Trixie Motel. I bought this whenever I was in Palm Springs. And this, I believe, is only one that you can buy when you're at the Trixie Motel. So I bought it. I bought one for me. I bought one for Tiff. And I love it. I love it. Okay, the next thing is the Fitness Marshal. So the Fitness Marshal does dance cardio workouts on YouTube. And I am a member. I'm a part of the Booty Army, which I did mention. Well, another thing we'll talk about in a second. have been very hard on myself, I would say the last 6 months about the state of my body, which is, like, not fun, and I don't wanna, like, talk too much about that. You know what makes it fun to move my body? The fitness Marshall. If you do pay for their membership, you get, like, classes throughout the month, and those are more fun. You can also, like, build your own playlists, and those are free if you, like, wanna build your own playlists of tracks, but I like taking the live classes with them. They're very, very fun, and then if I miss one, I just, like, catch it the next time I wanna work out or, if I'm not doing a different workout, but I have been very much enjoying that. They're very fun. It's like as serious as you wanna take it. I will say I feel like the first, couple of months I was doing the fitness Marshall, I wasn't sweating that much because it took me a while to, like, learn the moves. And I will say this is one thing I will say is that they're not very when you're taking the live classes, they're not very focused on teaching you the moves. They expect you to go learn the moves from the 2-minute videos that they post publicly. But I didn't do that. So I just like took me a while to get the moves. And now the classes can be very, very hard if I'm going all out the whole time because I know the moves now. Along the same lines of moving my body, Peloton. I posted about this on Instagram. But again, speaking of like how I've been feeling very bad about my body, I had fallen out of love. I've had my Peloton since 2018. So it's not like this is news. Like, it's old news. I've had it forever. I don't know. I think the last 2 years I like wasn't progressing and getting better at it, and I'm someone who's unfortunately very competitive with myself, and I don't really talk about that because it's, like, one of the uglier things about myself, I feel, and it's just, like, I always wanna beat myself, like, when I post a video, if it doesn't perform well, it, like, really takes a toll on me, and, like, it's like, why wasn't that, as good or better than the last video I post? Anyway, so that also applies to my workouts. So, something that the Peloton app does, is it tracks your, like, progress. So every time you do the best you've ever done on that length of a class, it's like you can get a personal record and it tells you. Well, I hadn't hit a personal record in a couple of years. And in fact, I was really progressing up until a point, and then I would say like around 2021, like I just like couldn't even hit the numbers anymore. And I'm not really sure what changed, but that really played mind tricks on me because I was like, "Well, I'm not even good at this anymore, like, I'm not progressing anymore." Like, there's a number of factors. I don't think my body's in complete decline, but I am older, right? So, like, it's harder for my body to do, like, PRs now, but also just, like, up until 2020, I was working out of the home, so I was, walking to the bus stop, taking the bus, walking, from the bus wherever I was going downtown, and that was, like, an everyday affair for me, but now, because I work from home, I don't really, like, walk around. Anyway, what I did is I reset my PR, and now I just turn off all of the stats except for, like, the resistance and the speed, and then I just do it, and I have fun. I used to just, like, crank up the resistance so much because I, like, wanted to get the most out of my workout, but I will tell you that now that I'm not trying to go all out every time I use the Peloton, 1, I feel less resistance on it, meaning, like, I do actually enjoy riding it now, so it's not like I get in my head right before I ride and go, "I hate doing this," which is what was happening before. Now I just enjoy riding the Peloton, and I don't do it full out, and I do hit a PR every now and then because I reset my PR, which you can do on there in case you were curious. So, I have been enjoying the Peloton again, so if you are someone who rides on Peloton, you wanna add me, absolutely feel free. You can ride with me. I might not know who you are, but, like, I add strangers there all the time, but it's just hautemess Tom there, so you can add me. And there's, like, a picture of me, so you would know to see it. But yeah, I've been enjoying my Peloton again. I've been loving taking classes with Cody, but, because I'm not forcing myself so strictly, I have been taking, like, a lot of the other instructors. I've been having a good time. I've also been stretching more, which I think I also have said in the favorites before, but I've also been making the effort to do longer stretches because I'm getting older and I know that stretching your body is important as you age. Again, I don't think I'm old, by the way. I just am like, these are when you're in your 30s and you're like moving into your mid 30s, I think this is just important stuff to like, maybe if I should make a habit of that now so that my body is still functioning as I aged. I've been loving the Lady Gaga album. And I talked about that on my second channel. So I did make a second channel, and that this kind of ties back into what I was saying about Peloton. I've been wanting to make a second channel to talk about music and like maybe other various pop culture or media. I've been thinking about doing that for over a year. In fact, it was like something I was in deep discussion with Cam before they came to visit me last year, whenever they came here for that Pride weekend. That's how long I've been wanting to do it. But the thing was, I kept hyper fixating on it needing to be perfect. and it didn't need to be perfect, and the Lady Gaga album felt like the perfect way to just, like, start. The album, I really enjoy it. It's not my favorite album of all time, but, like, it felt like something I wanted to speak about, and it felt like something that was current, and it was something that I could put out, because I do have bigger goals with my second channel, which it'll be linked down below. It'll probably be linked down below all the time now. You gotta check it out. But like, I will be wearing makeup, but I won't be talking about makeup. I'll be talking about media and the various media that I feel inspired to talk about, whether it be old media, new media, whatever I want to talk about. I'm just excited to do it. And so I recorded the video, and it was fun to edit differently than I do for this channel, because this channel is now established enough that there's a certain pacing whenever I'm doing beauty content that people expect. The pacing over there is going to be a little bit different and faster, but I also will probably expand on the kind of things you saw in my last Critical Sass, like scripted, different things, well-researched things. And not to say that my knowledge of makeup is not, like, researched. This is, like, giving you information based on my experience, whereas I like, wanna do, like, video essays and stuff on media. But I don't wanna be, like, a video essayist where I'm, like, telling you about philosophy. I just wanna be a video essayist where I'm like, "Here's this thing I care a lot about and I wanna know more about, and now I've done this deep dive and I wanna tell you about it." That's kind of what's gonna be on that channel, but I will do album reviews, whatever I want, and it was really nice to put it up. And here's the thing, starting a new channel, there's no pressure over there, which is really nice. And if I had done an incredibly well-researched, well-edited, well-scripted video for my first video over there, that would be the expectation over there all the time, and I didn't wanna set that expectation. And yeah, it seems like people are having fun over there. If you haven't checked it out, check it out if you wanna watch. And so, yeah, I have a second channel, and I'm excited about it. Just to, like, kind of reiterate it, I say at the end of that video over there, but I wanna tell you here, this channel is still my priority. That channel is gonna be, like, something I work on whenever I, like, feel like this isn't overwhelming me, and or working on that when I feel very inspired. Like, the Lady Gaga album was, like, what was inspiring me to do that. So whenever I feel, like, called to make a video, if there ever comes a point where, like, that channel is also proving itself to be something that might need more attention, we'll see. But that also might be the point where, like, I then have to, like, rearrange the amount of time I'm putting into all of my jobs, including, like, my 9 to 5, but we'll see. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's to come, but it's also potential. And then finally, I've talked about this so many times, but I just want to mention again, Dropout TV. Still loving it. Right now, Smarty Pants is airing, and we're loving that. And if you've ever seen the trend on TikTok where people do, like, the slideshow presentations on something completely absurd, that's basically what the concept of the show is. It is very fun. I've also been watching Smosh. And right now, some of the people from Smosh are appearing in the episodes of Smarty Pants, and I'm like, "Oh, my favorite people." So that's very exciting to me. I am a big fan of Dropout. It's very fun. It's very funny. It's a nice bit of escapism. It's well done. And, I don't know. I would say also Dropout very much inspired, like, my consumption of Dropout and kind of Smosh, watching sketch and improv comedy and enjoying that, and always kind of, like, viewing myself as, quote, unquote, "the funny friend." I was like, I don't wanna say that I can do that in a way where it's dismissing the people who have put in a lot of time and work and paid for education to become more skilled at that craft, but I was like, I could do that, and I can, and I was very thrilled about that. So that's, like, kind of where that came from, like, where it came. I was just like, I think Critical Sass is already funny, but, like, what if I made it something else? And so I've come up with some other concepts to apply to future Critical Sasses, but I think how Critical Sass might work from here on out is, like, one for you in the traditional me holding the mic, doing Critical Sass kind of way, but then one for me where I'm like, because some people didn't like the other format, and that's okay. Like, I get it. Like, not every video is gonna be for everyone, but, one for me, one for you. But thank you to everyone that it seemed mostly well received, and I really appreciate that. So that's where that came from. Just like enjoying sketch comedy. I think that where we are in the US right now, like, I just need to laugh sometimes in, like, a very pure way, and it has been nice to experience that. So I was hoping that, like, that's my thought of, like, doing Critical Sass like that is, like, to, like, pass on the joy of that to you if you aren't seeking out that kind of stuff on your own. So anyway, That's gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching this video. This was my favorites. Let me know some of your favorites in the comments down below. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. You can find that linked in the description box. Over there, I do one additional video every single month. But if you don't want to do that or you don't have the money to, I'm just so happy that you are here. You can find some links in my pinned comment to help some people in Gaza, people who experienced the LA fires, trans people in Pittsburgh, whoever you want to help. There's also an organization that gives you scripts to call your representatives to tell them how horrid of a job they're doing. And it tells you different, there's a bunch of different scripts. You can tell them in many different ways if you want to. That's going to wrap up the video for me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your hope and you'll find me. And I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth. It's out.